Emergency. Archangel Michael says you're being distracted on purpose. Who sent them? Find out. At the exact hour of 3:33, the heavens shifted again. The spirit realm stirred, and the winds of divine intelligence blew a piercing message straight into the atmosphere of the awakened ones. Archangel Michael, the captain of heaven's hosts, the defender of the remnant, the voice that shakes deception from its hiding place, steps forward with a flaming sword in hand. And this time, he does not whisper. He declares with urgency and fire, distraction is no accident. Someone was sent to blur your focus. This is not a message for the wandering. This is not for the ones who scroll by casually, half asleep in their calling. No. This word is reserved for the awakened, the spiritually attuned, those who have felt the recent swirl of confusion, delay, and emotional fog descend like a blanket of noise over their once clear path. If your spirit has felt unsettled, if your focus has felt fragmented, if your inner peace has been strangely elusive, then listen now with full attention. Because this is not just distraction. It is an assignment. This isn't ordinary chaos. It was designed. It was timed. It was sent. Someone or something noticed your acceleration. Someone saw the oil beginning to pour over your life, and they were terrified. You were advancing in silence. You were aligning in prayer. Your spirit was catching fire, and that fire drew attention from dimensions you could not see, both divine and demonic. You were doing something right, and that made you a target. The Spirit of the Lord says, only stillness and silence will reveal the truth now. The signs are already around you. The people, the timing, the words spoken, they carry more than coincidence. They carry intention. Some were sent to water your garden. Others were sent to trample it with noise. And not all came with horns or evil grins. Some came smiling, but their presence brought disturbance. Some came clothed in friendliness, but their spirit stirred restlessness. Archangel Michael is not here to coddle. He is here to cut it. He is here to tear the veil and expose the who behind the what. Not every distraction is innocent. Some are agents. Some are spiritual assignments disguised in human clothing. And while you were focused on purpose, something was focused on you, with the sole objective to pull you away. The enemy doesn't waste his energy on the asleep. He targets the awakened. So hear this now. If confusion had been loud, if peace had been hiding, if relationships have shifted abruptly, or your clarity feels delayed, you are not crazy. You are under spiritual surveillance. Heaven has seen it. And now the captain of angel armies is sounding the alarm. This is your moment to reclaim your gaze. This is your moment to quiet the noise and ask, who sent them? Why now? Why this? Why this shift at the exact moment your breakthrough was birthing? Heaven is not quiet. Heaven is not passive. Heaven is alert, and Michael has been released to deliver this warning with fire in his wings. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now activated. Archangel Michael steps forward with divine urgency. The skies have trembled, and the ground beneath your feet has whispered. A message is arriving, not with gentle tones, but with heaven's thunder behind it. The trumpet has sounded, and it is not symbolic. It is spiritual. It is immediate. Archangel Michael, commander of heaven's hosts, does not move without cause. He does not speak without divine sanction. And now, he moves toward you. There is a prophetic urgency in the atmosphere. Something is shifting. Something is tightening around your time, your emotions, your energy. The moment you started taking your calling seriously, The distraction started taking you seriously. And Archangel Michael has stepped forward, armed with the authority of the throne, eyes ablaze with celestial fire, to say, in the next 2 hours, you must pay attention to the signs. Why now? Why so urgent? Because distraction is no longer a passing problem. It has become a strategic device of interference. You're not just being interrupted, beloved. You're being intercepted. The difference matters. Interruption may come from your environment, but interference comes from retaliation. Who sent them? Who timed their arrival to coincide with your spiritual acceleration? Who showed up the moment your discipline grew sharper? Who suddenly needed your attention just as you stopped giving your energy to cycles? This is not random. It is not benign. It is not harmless. You are under surveillance because you are nearing something divine. And so, Archangel Michael declares, this isn't just interruption. It's interference by design. This message is not for the curious. It is not for those dabbling in faith or those halfway committed to their inner transformation. This is not entertainment. This is a divine alert for the called, for the marked, for those whose spiritual vibration has triggered recognition in both heaven and hell. If you've noticed the noise increase, the fatigue deepen, the sudden appearance of confusion, you are not imagining it. You are being distracted on purpose. You were at the edge. You were so close. You had been praying with clarity. You had been fasting without announcement. You had begun breaking cycles that had haunted your family for generations. And that movement triggered retaliation. The darkness noticed. The second you aligned, it assigned something to interrupt you. This is not paranoia. This is prophetic strategy. Do not downplay what you've sensed. Don't rationalize the storm. Don't spiritualize chaos as normal. And no, chosen one, listen. Heaven is watching who distracts you now. Heaven is tracking who pulls on your spirit. And more importantly, heaven is observing who you allow to pull you out of position. Distraction is a door. When opened, it delays. It routes. It exhausts you until you're too tired to finish what you started. And right now, that's the aim. Not to destroy you completely, but to delay you long enough to miss divine alignment. Because if you miss your moment, you'll miss the mantle. Archangel Michael is not offering this word lightly. The tone is stern, because the hour is short. The battle is invisible, but it is very real. You've been feeling a tension that words can't fully describe. You've been sensing agitation. Things feel off. Normal tasks have become difficult. Familiar relationships have become strained. You're not reacting as calmly as usual. Your focus slips. You start scrolling more. You pray less. It's subtle, but that's how interference works. Not with a blow, but with a slow theft of your intention. You were almost there, and they knew it. The conversation was coming. The door was about to open. The phone call, the job, the divine connection, it was on the verge. And so the enemy sent noise, sent chatter, sent emotional confusion, sent someone to drain you, distract you, deter you. But now, Michael stands at the gate, and he says this: reclaim your post. Anchor yourself in silence. Recenter before it's too late. In the next 2 hours, signs will come. Someone will speak. A phrase will echo. A number will repeat. A face will reveal a motive. And you, yes, you, must be ready to discern. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your energy. You must stop allowing emotional guilt to become spiritual bondage. The angels are watching. Heaven is monitoring your responses. And your breakthrough, your next breakthrough, hinges on whether or not you can remain focused while chaos knocks. This moment is not a test of strength. It is a test of clarity. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. As someone new entered your life with odd timing. The timing was too perfect, wasn't it? Just as you began stepping into greater obedience, just as your prayer life intensified, just as your heart started to untangle itself from cycles of compromise and confusion, they appeared. Friendly, helpful, harmless. But something didn't sit right. Something beneath the surface stirred unease in your spirit. Even while their words sounded kind, you couldn't put your finger on it, but deep down, you felt it. They brought disruption, not peace. Archangel Michael speaks now. Not every new presence is sent from the throne. Some were sent, but not by heaven. And here lies the mystery you must confront with holy eyes. Because if the enemy can't destroy you with fear, he'll distract you with familiarity. He'll send noise that sounds like comfort. He'll send people who mirror your old wounds, your past insecurities, your unresolved places, and call it connection. But connection does not always mean covenant. You've noticed it. The increase of interruptions. The awkward tension in your gut after certain conversations. The sudden sleepiness every time you open your Bible. The phone calls that don't bring joy, just emotional weight. The confusion in your thoughts after spending time with a particular person. And still you brush it off. You say, maybe I'm overthinking. No, chosen one. You're not. You're discerning. Archangel Michael reveals, you are being pulled from your path, not by accident, but by assignment. This is not ordinary disruption. This is calculated. This is carefully woven. Gossip has grown louder around you. People who never thought of you suddenly have your name in their mouths. But not in prayer. The atmosphere has shifted. Emotionally, you felt it. Restlessness, irritation, a fog that wraps itself around your clarity. Some days you can't even explain what's wrong. You just know something is. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are under spiritual surveillance, and it's time to recognize it for what it is. This is a spiritual ambush disguised as normal life. You felt tired, but it's not your body. It's your spirit growing weary from constant interference. You've questioned your sanity, but it's not madness. It's spiritual opposition hoping you'll give up your momentum. Because here's the truth. The enemy doesn't want you to realize. You're closer than you've ever been. You're stepping into a zone of influence, of responsibility, of spiritual rank, and the timing of these distractions is no coincidence. This choreography, this war, and your emotions are on the battlefield. Michael says, you are not crazy. You are under pressure because you are carrying something sacred. Yes, they know you're chosen, but they don't know what you carry. They feel the oil, but they cannot name it. That's why they are drawn to you and yet offend you. That's why they admire you and yet confuse you. They feel the call, the light, the mantle, but they are not sent to support. They are sent to siphon. So ask yourself, who always seems to need your energy? Who leaves you feeling more scattered than strengthened? Who do you feel guilty walking away from, even though you know they bring distraction? These are not harmless questions. These are diagnostics from heaven. And Michael urges you, do not ignore the disruption. It's the proof that you're aligned. You don't fight distractions at random. You fight them when you're marked for something bigger. It's fog. It's fatigue. It's emotional whirlpool. It's not failure. It's evidence of destiny. Now is not the time to submit to it. Now is the time to clear your emotional field and take back your focus. The enemy fears your undistracted mind more than anything else, because a focused child of God is a dangerous weapon. So take this moment. Review who's shown up. Observe who's drained you. Write down the names, the dates, the emotional patterns. And above all, take nothing at face value. Not everyone who enters in peace is of peace. Some carry chaos like perfume, and their words only mask their assignments. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks, with contributions up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe for weekly prophetic messages and divine revelations. Stay aligned. Stay informed. Stay protected. Type ISE clearly now in the comments if this message finds you. Blessing code 1313 is opening for you now. The distractions are tests, not all from the enemy. Now, step higher. Lift your vision beyond the surface. Look not only at the attack, but at the allowance. Heaven did not sleep while the distractions entered. God did not blink while your name was whispered behind closed doors. The Father permitted it. The angels watched it. Archangel Michael now explains why. Not every distraction is demonic. Some are divine tests. Heaven allowed the noise to expose your depth of focus. Because before God elevates, He evaluates. And not by performance, but by priority. So what did you do when the distractions came? Did you chase them, or did you return to your altar? Did you respond with panic or press in with prayer? God was watching, not with judgment, but with documentation. Every reaction was recorded in the spirit realm. Every delayed response. Every silent decision to pull back from drama. Every moment you chose peace over performance, it was logged. Why? Because this conflict is not punishment. It's proof of promotion. You were targeted not because you are weak, but because you are gifted. You were tested not because you are failing, but because you are rising. You don't qualify for this level of warfare unless you're carrying something uncommon. The Lord says, I am watching what pulls your gaze from me. And now that the distractions have revealed themselves, so has your devotion. You kept going. You kept fasting. You returned to stillness. You said no when your emotions wanted yes. You turned off your phone when the drama called. You pulled away when gossip begged for your attention. And heaven marked it. Archangel Michael says this to you clearly. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual warfare. Every time you resisted the urge to explain yourself, every time you didn't fight back, every time you chose silence over slander, you were climbing. You were graduating. Because spiritual promotion isn't earned through accolades, it's earned through alignment under pressure. There is a war happening, and your awareness of it proves your maturity. You no longer fall for every fire sent to lure you. You're learning to detect the source behind the storm. Some people didn't show up, they were sent. And some were not even aware they were being used. But you're learning not to react. You're learning to recognize. This conflict isn't merely about your present peace. It's about your future placement. Where you're going, you cannot carry distraction. Where God is elevating you, you must walk in discernment like never before. The spiritual climate around you has changed. You must rise to meet it. So stop saying, "Why me?" and begin declaring, "I am trusted. I'm chosen. I'm focused." What you're facing is not random resistance. It is a divine screening, not to push you out, but to pull you higher. Heaven is not trying to disqualify you. Heaven is trying to refine you. Every wave of chaos, every distraction was allowed to sharpen your spiritual senses. Now the fire has refined your focus, and now the Spirit says, prepare for clarity, prepare for confirmation, prepare for elevation. Type "I am focused" in the comments if you're ready to move higher. Blessing code 2211 is covering you now. Someone is speaking your name in secret and not in prayer. There is a whisper circulating in the unseen. Archangel Michael leans in closer now, his voice sharpened with holy authority. His sword is drawn, not in fear but in readiness, and his words burn through the fog. Someone is speaking your name in secret and not in prayer. Their mouth carries your name, but not in reverence, not in love, not in alignment. They are planting words like snares, forging narratives in shadows, testing how close they can come without being exposed. But heaven hears every murmur, every thought not surrendered, every whispered not prayed. Chosen one, you must prepare. Within the next 72 hours, something will present itself, a confrontation, a decision, a moment of spiritual pressure. And you will not have time to deliberate long. You will have to choose distraction or destiny. You will be offered noise, wrapped in opportunity. You will be tempted with a compromise, painted as connection. A familiar voice may offer you a detour disguised as divine help, but it is a counterfeit. And Archangel Michael warns, you must be alert, because the test will look like a blessing. You see, the enemy does not come as darkness. He comes as too much light, as busyness that looks like productivity, as affection that feels like affirmation. But if you are spiritually awake, you'll sense it. The timing will be off. The atmosphere will feel swollen with tension. And your chest, yes, your chest will tighten. That pressure is not stress. It is not panic. It is spiritual resistance, a signal from the Holy Spirit whispering, "Don't go that way." The racing thoughts, the sudden agitation, the desire to explain yourself. These are signals. Your spirit knows before your mind understands. And this moment, this divine intersection of choice, is being watched from above. Heaven is watching who you believe. Heaven is watching where you place your attention. Archangel Michael says clearly, this is the moment when heaven records your response. Will you chase the fire or sit at the altar? Will you follow the noise or return to stillness? Will you defend yourself or let God expose the truth? Clues are already here. Look again. Who brings peace when they walk in? Who brings tension? Who speaks life over you? Who only comes around when you're in motion? Who questions your purpose without ever seeking your process? These questions are not for suspicion. They are for spiritual alignment. Because something is building in the shadows. And this warning is not to bring fear, but preparation. You are not in danger, but you are in the eye of a storm. And storms don't break people, they reveal people. And some are about to be revealed. The enemy's strategy has always been the same: distraction before breakthrough. And Michael confirms, what they plan will not succeed if you stay alert, if you listen, if you stop explaining yourself to people who were sent to derail you, If you stop entertaining voices that do not speak from the Spirit of God, you are not being targeted because you're weak. You are being watched because you're about to move into a level of influence you've never known. And the enemy would rather distract you now than fight you fully equipped later. Let this be your clarity. Within 72 hours, something will call for your attention. And you must respond from your spirit, not your emotions. Do not text back. Do not argue. Do not entertain chaos. Choose silence. Choose stillness. Choose focus. Let heaven handle the unveiling, and you stay hidden in obedience. Type "I choose destiny" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 9999 is now moving in your atmosphere. Be still, Archangel Michael commands. Don't chase noise. Now that you've been warned, heaven releases instruction. You must understand this moment requires more than prayer. It requires positioning. You cannot afford to stay reactive. You must become strategic in your stillness. Because your silence is not emptiness. It is a sword. Your stillness is not surrender. It is spiritual strength. Archangel Michael commands with weight. Be still. Don't chase noise. Withdraw from the chaos. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not out of weakness, but out of power. The ones who maintain peace in the storm are the ones who command the elements. Now is your time to disconnect from everything draining you. Not forever. Just for now. The angels are surrounding you, but they require your alignment to operate at full capacity. Heaven fights best for the ones who are centered, not scattered. You must gather your focus, gather your time, gather your attention like precious oil, because that's exactly what it is. Fast. Yearn. Pray in silence. Turn down the volume of the world and amplify the whisper of God. Every distraction loses its grip when you stop responding. Every agent of confusion loses influence when you disengage. This is not avoidance. It's spiritual intelligence. Your assignment now is to identify the thieves of your peace. Write down every pattern. Name every cycle. Observe what steals your attention and exhausts your joy. Then speak aloud, not in fear, but in holy boldness. I reclaim my attention and authority. Say it again, until the atmosphere bows to your words. I reclaim my attention and authority. You are not unguarded. You are not vulnerable. You are heavily defended. Angelic forces have been released to surround you. Prayer warriors in the Spirit have spoken your name. Heaven has not been silent. Your stillness is being reinforced by invisible strength. This quiet season is not punishment. It is preparation. You are being sheltered by heaven, hidden until the moment of divine emergence. You must not interrupt this process. Pull back, without explanation. Cancel the meeting. Ignore the invitation. Block the access. Mute the chatter. You are not being cold. You are being consecrated. Michael stands at the gates. He had been sent to oversee this moment. He is watching, defending, intercepting. But he will not overstep your free will. You must choose this shelter. You must choose this silence. You must choose to shut the doors to anything sent to unseat your authority. Heaven says, rest now. Regroup now. Realign now. Because what's coming next is not just recovery, it's release. And God will not let you miss it. But you must disconnect from false assignments if you want to be connected to your true one. You are not retreating, you are reloading. Now breathe. Yearn. Speak your truth. Walk in circles of peace. Being your no one who makes your spirit feel loud. Protect the quiet, because in the quiet, God is speaking. In the quiet, Michael is standing. In the quiet, destiny is organizing itself on your behalf. Let this be your declaration. I do not chase noise. I steward silence. I walk with heaven. Type I walk with heaven in the comments if this is for you. Blessing code 1717 has been dispatched on your behalf. You are not the same distracted version of yourself anymore. Hear this now in your spirit, and let it echo loud. You have changed. No matter how subtle the progress may feel, no matter how many days you stumbled, no matter how many nights you cried behind closed doors, you are not who you were. The distractions came. The emotional storm swirled. The counterfeit connections whispered your name. But you remained. You endured. You recalibrated. And though you may not see it clearly yet, the heavens have already recorded your transformation. Archangel Michael steps forward with holy confidence and proclaims, "You've grown wings in secret, fireproof and focused. The fire that came to scatter you only refined you. The pressure that tried to crush you only concentrated your purpose. The warfare that tried to wear you down became your bootcamp for discernment, and now your spirit no longer bows to every voice that calls your name. The old you would have reacted. The old you would have chased clarity from people. The old you would have apologized for pulling back. But that version of you, that version no longer exists. You've stepped into a new realm of awareness, one that doesn't just survive storms but reads them. You see now what used to confuse you. You discern now what used to deceive you. You detect now what once distracted you. And that shift, that inner evolution, it didn't come through applause. It came through fire. It came through silence. It came through unseen battles and invisible victories. You're stronger not because of what you gained, but because of what you no longer give attention to. Michael declares, they wanted the old you, but that version cannot be summoned anymore. They came looking for your vulnerability. They came hoping for your reaction. They came to see if you were still soft for their manipulation. But you did return their energy. You didn't chase after their validation. And that confused them. That offended them. Because your silence isn't weakness. Your silence is evidence of strength. Your mind has sharpened through every false friendship. You no longer try to explain purpose to people who don't carry presence. You no longer force conversations with spirits that weren't sent by God. And that's the growth that has shifted your reality. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. You're not above people. You're just done being beneath your calling. You've stopped shrinking your power to make others comfortable in their compromise. You stopped diluting your truth to avoid being misunderstood. You stopped answering questions meant to confuse you. And now you move different. You think different. You carry weight. You speak less, but your spirit speaks more. Archangel Michael says, from silence, your power is rising, uncontested. Because what can't be distracted becomes a threat to darkness. And you, beloved, have become a spiritual weapon, not through force but through focus. You now operate with spiritual intelligence. You choose your battles. You guard your gates. You protect your pace. You no longer open your heart to everyone just because they come with flattery. You weigh spirits now. You wait on God now. And that shift, that sacred maturity, has provoked heaven to release favor you've never seen before. You are not merely reacting now. You are commanding. Your presence alone shifts rooms. Your prayers pierce atmospheres. Your discernment interrupts assignments. And what they sent to distract you, It only sharpened your edge. It only fortified your yes. It only solidified your separation. Michael says, they didn't distract you. They activated your discernment. So now walk forward. Speak only when led. Show up only where grace leads. Let your new strength offend what needs to fall away. Let your silence speak volumes. You are no longer available to chaos disguised as connection. You are no longer accessible to voices sent to confuse your assignment. You've changed, not just emotionally, but spiritually. And that change, that transformation, heaven is about to honor it. Type I have changed in the comments if you feel this word. Blessing code 3113 is now guiding your next steps. This isn't sabotage. It's sacred preparation. Hear this and hold it tightly in your spirit. What looked like sabotage, what felt like emotional betrayal, what appeared as chaos, was actually sacred preparation. Archangel Michael, bearer of divine messages and defender of destiny, speaks clearly now. Distraction reveals your devotion. The Father didn't allow the noise to punish you. He allowed it to prove you. He allowed the temptation, the interference, the confusion, because your reaction to distraction becomes the compass of your readiness. And chosen one, you have been found ready. This wasn't a random season. It was divine conditioning. The late-night interruptions, the silent betrayals, the confusion that crept into your routines, the people who drained your time without offering purpose, the sudden exhaustion, the mental haze. It wasn't because you were doing something wrong. It was because you were being pulled into something sacred, and heaven needed to see if you would protect it. God allowed the distractions to expose what still had your loyalty. He allowed the noise to test your frequency. He watched to see if you'd keep showing up in the spirit, even when your mind was tired. He listened to hear if you'd still whisper his name, even when no one clapped for your growth. And you did. You stayed. You prayed. You endured. So now, Michael says, heaven is unlocking your name in rooms you've never entered. Doors are being opened, not because you networked, but because you navigated noise with honor. Keys are being released, not because of your resume, but because of your restraint. This was not a setback. It was a sacred setup. What's next is not just a blessing, it's a commissioning. You're not just being rewarded. You're being entrusted. Because what you carried in secret has qualified you for public promotion. The conversations that didn't make sense, the conflict that didn't seem justified, all of it was part of a divine classroom. And guess what? You passed. You didn't just pass the test of endurance. You passed the test of devotion under pressure. And heaven is now shifting resources. Angels are being reassigned. Access is being granted. You are now moving from preparation to positioning. And the same people who questioned your silence will soon witness your elevation. Michael speaks. The reason for the chaos is the calling you carry. Yes, the magnitude of your future required the intensity of this storm. That's why it hit you so hard. That's why you were isolated. That's why everything that could distract you showed up. Because what's inside of you is so divine, so strategic, so necessary, that even your resistance became a confirmation. Someone sent the distraction, but God allowed it to reveal your readiness. Someone thought they were planting delay, but God used it to build depth. Someone thought they were knocking you off course, but they accidentally led you straight to your consecration. Let this be your comfort. You did not miss it. You were never off track. You were being spiritually developed, and now heaven responds. If this message resonates with your spirit, and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks. Even a small gift of $20 helps us continue to bring these divine messages straight to you. Your generosity keeps this prophetic voice alive. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Make sure to subscribe to receive weekly guidance, urgent warnings, and powerful spiritual tools to keep you aligned with heaven's will. Type "I am ready" in the comments if this word confirms what you've been sensing. Blessing code 5555 is activating your commissioning now. Speak now. I break the agreement with all distraction. This is the turning point. This is the threshold where obedience meets release. You've endured the tests. You've seen the distractions for what they are, cleverly masked assignments sent to keep you misaligned. You've battled the fog, walked through the emotional disruption, and held your peace when your flesh screamed for retaliation. And now, Archangel Michael declares, it is time for you to rise and speak. Speak it out loud. Speak it boldly. Speak it until heaven echoes and hell trembles. I break the agreement with all distraction. Because distraction is not just something that happens to you. It is something you unknowingly permit. Every moment of hesitation, every time you responded to energy not sent by God, every thought you entertained that dimmed your purpose, it was an agreement. But no more. You are not available to that level of chaos anymore. Your time is no longer up for grabs. Your peace is no longer for sale. Your attention is no longer up for negotiation. Michael stands beside you with the scrolls of heaven, and he says with finality, your purpose is your priority, not the noise. From this moment on, you must make a divine exchange. You must trade emotional responses for strategic silence. You must release the need to explain your boundaries and instead enforce them without apology. Your assignment is too great to be diluted by the presence of people who do not honor the oil you carry. Your days of being emotionally accessible to spiritual assassins are over. God is not waiting on your perfection. He's waiting on your permission. Your yes doesn't need to be shouted. It just needs to be rooted. You don't need to convince others of your calling. You just need to commit to it. The moment you decide, heaven moves. The moment you say yes, angelic armies respond. The moment you shut the door on distraction, divine acceleration begins. Take back control of your time. Reclaim your focus. Return to the original instructions God gave you before confusion entered. What was the last thing God told you to do before you got overwhelmed? Go back to it. The blueprint hasn't changed, only your attention did. But now, you are restoring the altar. And now, you are reconnecting with your spiritual assignment. Now, you are reestablishing the terms of your calling. Stop explaining yourself to people who were never supposed to understand you. Some were not sent to support, they were sent to stall. And your mistake was trying to convert confusion into clarity by offering explanation. But chosen one, you owe no one an explanation for your consecration. You were not born to blend in. You were not placed here to play it safe. You were not given that level of discernment just to survive. You are a disruptor, a reformer, a mouthpiece, a trailblazer, and the distractions came to make you forget that. But now you remember. Now you realign. Now you roar from your spirit and say, I choose purpose. I choose peace. I choose the presence of God. The distractions tried to drown out your devotion, but they failed. The enemy thought confusion would dilute your focus, but it backfired. Because now, you are activated. And when a chosen one becomes activated, not even the gates of hell can interfere. Heaven had been waiting for this moment. The angels are repositioning. The Spirit of God is stirring. You're not just being restored, you're being launched. And what comes next will not be subtle. What comes next will be evidence that your silence had power, that your stillness was strategic, that your pruning was preparation for public fire. Type "I choose purpose" in the comments to confirm your divine activation. Blessing code 4141 is sealing your breakthrough. While you sleep, heaven is speaking your name boldly. There are things moving right now in the unseen that your waking mind cannot grasp. While you sleep, while you rest, while your body recovers, your spirit is still at work. And not just your spirit, but heaven itself. The angels assigned to your name are moving in formation. Intercessors in other cities have been called to pray for you without knowing why. Ancestors, purified in glory, are standing as witnesses before the throne declaring, "Do not let them fall. They have endured too much." Archangel Michael reveals a mystery rarely spoken. Spiritual trades are underway. In the quiet of night, when your mouth is closed and your heart is exposed, there is a silent exchange happening in the spirit. The distractions that once stole your focus are now being surrendered. The time that was stolen is being recompensed. The peace that was fragmented is being reassembled. You are regaining what was lost, not by striving, but by surrendering. This is not imagination. This is spiritual reality. Michael confirms that the unrest you felt was not weakness. It was an indicator that your spirit was in negotiations. You weren't restless because something was wrong. You were restless because something was shifting. Your name was being echoed in the spirit realm, and heaven was issuing divine verdicts in your favor. Delayed blessings were being released. Rejected assignments were being reissued. Hidden favor was being uncovered. Michael says, you felt the shift before you saw it. Trust that. That tension in your chest was not anxiety, it was announcement. That pull to isolate wasn't depression, it was divine separation. That urge to walk away from old patterns was not emotional. It was heaven's hand extracting you from environments that no longer fit your assignment. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are in the middle of a sacred exchange. And the spirit realm is loud on your behalf. The same angels who warred for Daniel during his 21-day delay are now activating your acceleration. The same forces that guided Joseph in prison are guiding your repositioning. The delay was not denial. It was preparation for this divine release. Everything that was stolen, your clarity, your creativity, your conviction, is now being rerouted back to you. But it will not return in the same form. It will come back multiplied, upgraded, reinforced. Why? Because you didn't just endure. You aligned. You didn't just wait, you worshipped. You didn't just cry. You consecrated yourself in silence. And now, heaven is honoring the stillness. The Lord has seen your tears, and He has answered with angelic activity. The distractions that once danced around your peace now tremble at your presence. The forces that tried to confuse you now retreat at the sound of your name. Even while you sleep, your name is on divine tongues. Even in your silence, you are being spoken of in the courts of heaven. And Michael reminds you, this next shift will not be by effort. It will be by inheritance. So rest. Sleep with confidence. The Father is still working. The Spirit is still interceding. The angels are still circling. And you are still favored, still called, still covered. Type "I am covered" in the comments if this message confirms what your soul has already known. Blessing code 3131 is surrounding your sleep and securing your name in heaven. They distracted you. Now they are being exposed. Now heaven moves with finality. The gavel has struck in the courts of the Most High, and what was hidden is about to be revealed publicly. For too long you walked with Ryun. You endured the whispers. You felt the subtle betrayal of those who said they were for you, but their fruit proved otherwise. You gave grace while others gave gossip. You protected people who never had the capacity to protect you. You covered others while they uncovered you with lies and distraction. But now, Archangel Michael declares a shift in the spiritual tides. They distracted you. Now they are being exposed. Every seed of confusion they sowed is being uncovered. Every false conversation, every scheme built in secret, every name dropped in manipulation. Heaven is responding. Divine exposure is not vengeance. It is justice, and heaven is just. The angels have taken note. The fire has been weighed. The obedience has been recorded. And now, the reversal is being released. Michael speaks with commanding force. Every step sent your way returns to sender. Yes, every lie, every manipulation, every crooked motive disguised as kindness, it is returning. Not as punishment, but as a righteous balancing. The enemy thought you were vulnerable, but heaven has always seen you as a vessel of precision. And the time has come for the tables to turn. This is not a warning. This is an announcement. The ones who spoke about you will now have to speak of what God is doing through you. The ones who dismissed you will now have to witness your elevation. The same people who weaponize your silence will now be silenced by your fruit. This is divine reversal, and it will be public. Archangel Michael does not speak in riddles. He speaks in decrees. And his decree over you now is this: what they tried to ruin, God will elevate tenfold. You must understand, chosen one, you were never behind. You were being preserved. The delay was your protection. The silence was your shield. The distractions were allowed, yes, but only so that justice could be clear and undeniable when it came. And now that clarity is being released like thunder in the spirit. This isn't just restoration, it's recompense. You will not only recover what was lost, you will gain in proportion to the pain you endured in silence. You will rise, not in revenge, but in radiant proof that you are not only chosen but divinely defended. And this time, your elevation won't come with compromise. This time, the people connected to your calling will be those who don't distract you, but discern you. Your team is changing. Your circle is being refined. Heaven is orchestrating every detail, because now that justice hath been activated, every counterfeit must fall away. Michael declares, justice is not coming. It has already started. The scales are no longer tipping. They have been tipped. And they've tipped in your favor. Your obedience did that. Your restraint did that. Your quiet no, your holy boundaries, your secret prayers, they brought you to this divine reversal. Heaven is not passive. It is precise. It has watched long enough. And now, the same sword that defended you in silence is swinging in the open. This is not your fight. This is heaven's execution of justice. Your only assignment now is to stay out of the way and stay aligned. If this message resonates with you and you feel led to support, consider sowing a super thanks. Even a gift of $5 helps us continue delivering powerful, prophetic content directly to you. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss these timely prophetic instructions. insights, and encouragement. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this reversal. Blessing code 8888 is now surrounding you with victory. You are not behind. You are in divine alignment. Now hear this, and let it seal everything you've heard, everything you've felt, and everything your soul has endured. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are in divine alignment, and what seemed like delay was actually God's perfect positioning. Heaven has seen your tears. Heaven has tracked your decisions. Heaven has recorded the moments you didn't post, didn't respond, didn't retaliate, and instead chose righteousness in silence. You have not been unseen. You have not been unheard. You have not been wasted. The Father says, "I was with you in the shadows. I was guiding you through the fog. I was speaking when all others went silent. You are blessed. You are bold. You are protected. And you are positioned. You didn't get here through manipulation. You didn't rise by cutting corners. You didn't win by forcing timelines. You did it Heaven's way. And because of that, Heaven's reward will rest upon you in a way that will overtake you suddenly." Archangel Michael now declares, "You are sealed, you are seen, and you are sent. Now rise. Rise into your calling. Rise into your clarity. Rise into your assignment, not with fear, but with fire. The same fire that tried to consume you has become the flame that fuels you. And as you step forward, you will not walk alone. You will walk with legions. You will walk with strategy. You will walk with favor that cannot be denied. This is your confirmation. This is your commissioning. And this is your covering. Let the distractions be gone. Let the clarity return. Let the spirit of delay be broken. Let the authority on your life rise to the surface unapologetically. And now go, chosen, called, consecrated, covered. Type "I am sent" in the comments to receive the final blessing. Blessing code 0000 is now active and going before you.